Call the Health, Human, and Social Services meeting to order. Basically, what I wanted to do was discuss with you the opening that we will have as Social Services Commissioner. Her resignation is in. I'm assuming it's effective like January 24th?
24th, 25th.
24th to 25th. I've asked Trish to come so she could tell us how civil service enters into this. She has requirements for the job, which I'd like you to take a couple of minutes to read over. So if that's okay with you, we want to kind of just decide if it's fine for us to go out and advertise. So we're not looking really for motions. We're just looking for some information and make sure that we're doing it in the right way. Got a copy with you?
Yeah.
I did. And you can get one for me? Oh, hold on. I only know her salary. I didn't check the budget. I don't know. She has a 9.
Is that right, Frank? About 15 million social services budget?
We're just curious as to what it is.
It's substantial.
Yeah. Trish, why don't you come right up to the table here? I think it's a little easier for all of us to just discuss this. Trish very kindly ran off some information for us, so we have some idea of what's required as far as the Commissioner of Social Services, and there are state regulations that come into play. Is that correct, Trish?
Yes, for this position, there are state regulations that define the group, the district level group that each local district is in. Our district, I've confirmed, is a Group 1 district, and under the regulations, Group 1 district minimum qualifications are defined in 18 NYCRR 679.3, which you have on your second page. So the experience that's set forth in the regulations are the experience that we have to require when we go out for our commissioner, our new social services commissioner. The difference between what the regulations provide currently and what we have as our job description is really the number of years of satisfactory experience required. So on the job description, which was last amended in 2009, and I think that was probably at the time they were going out for the commissioner at that time, they went with minimum qualifications of 5 years of certain kinds of satisfactory experience, and that experience matches the regulations for everything except the years. We are required to have 4 years of experience in order for the position to be approved by the State Commission, which is the requirement. In 2009, the board considered 5 years to be a more realistic requirement for our county. We can do that again. Chairman Frazier and I discussed this and had a conversation about how to approach this. We have to, if we make a change to this job description, have to have the approval of the state OTDA commission agency. I've spoken to them. I spoke to them last week. They said if you all decide exactly what you want in terms of minimum qualifications, they will review it immediately and get us a quick answer so that we can amend our job description and update it.
We're asking for more than the state requires, right?
1 year.
Yes, and we can do that.
Yeah.
We can ask for as many years as we want.
Why do we have to ask them for approval of that if we're asking for more?
You don't?
The
We
state,
don't.
well,
Oh, do you?
She said if you change.
If we
if
change.
you make any changes, we have to make a few very minor tweaks because the old job description where it's note 1 and 2, the language is just a little bit fuzzier than the regulations, so they've asked that we do an amendment and address that. So we will be doing an amendment. We've already discussed that piece of it, and that will be approved immediately. So the number of years is really the big issue in terms of the amendment we can do very easily. as far as distinguishing features of class or typical work activities, those descriptions are fairly typical of commissioner job descriptions. When I talk to staff up at OTDA, they seem to say, you know, you can go with those, and the chairman and I discussed, chairwoman and I discussed this, and said maybe what we do is get our minimum qualifications set, and then you can go out for a posting, and finally on the back end, whatever candidate you're interested in will have to be approved by the commission, by the OTDA also.
All right. My feeling, this is a very large department. They have a very huge budget. I'm certainly in favor of that 5-year that county came up with in 2009. I don't think we should make it less than that. So, okay, I'm glad you agree with me on that. So we're kind of agreed on that, Trish. So what you were saying, like on note 1 and note 2, we have to make a couple of little changes. Is that something you?
I can do that. We're just going to mirror the language in the regulation. Our language is a little looser, and from the state's reading of it would potentially allow for candidates who don't meet the regulation. So for note 1 and note 2 on our job description, I am just going to mirror where it says experience as a social services commissioner in the regulations and the postgraduate training. C and D are basically note 1 and 2.
Okay.
And so we're just going to pick that language up exactly, drop that into the note 1 and note 2.
Okay.
The minimum qualifications, if you leave them at 5 years, the rest of it ties into the regulations.
All right. That makes sense to me. I hope it does to everybody else. Salary-wise, at this point, do we go out and say, like, salary commensurate with experience? Right now, it's like $88,000 that she's making. They showed a $2,000 increase in the budget for next year. So when we advertise, is that how?
I would do it, I would leave it open-ended so we can set a range.
Okay.
You may,
Want to check with others in the area to see?
well, I think you know what it is.
Better.
She has a study probably that she can do, but I would keep it open. I would not state a salary.
Well, I don't-
See what kind of
I
experience they
agree.
bring with us.
Right. I think that is a good idea.
Yeah.
All right, any comments, any questions for Trish? Otherwise, what I'd like to do is, we'll get this in order, we'd like to move forward so that we could do some advertising. Anybody have a problem with that?
Yeah, we have a history where we've advertised this before through NISAC and all the right publications. I think Jackie could find all that information.
Now, do we have to set a deadline for how long we're going to accept applications?
Well, I would think, I don't know, is 2 weeks enough, or do you need 3 weeks?
Go ahead, Matt.
I would give it a solid month.
Really?
Well, I'm thinking we don't have
We
any...
get it out, as long as we get it out in December.
Yeah, and we don't
solid
have
month.
any meetings this month, so it gives everybody plenty of time if they're going to get an application in. They can't say...
Yeah, it's just,
I mean, the
Do
important
you have a
thing
problem
is
with that?
No, the important thing is that it's going to take some time to do the interviews,
Right.
depending on,
That's
the sorting and stuff.
I mean, if we fall close to her resignation date, you know, if we have to have Cynthia fill in for a couple weeks,
I was gonna say, if-
she
She
has
filled
did
in when she
prior.
was out with her surgery, so it's not
Right.
like she doesn't know what she has to do over there.
Mhm.
All right, so then, this is kind of... Yes, Ron?
I would, especially since you have that, there's something more professional, newsletter.
Yeah, we have that already from the last, in '09.
I think we
went out and got something.
I think that you should have very broad, they had a pretty broad audience of people that this is what they do.
All right, good, we'll do that. Then later on, I guess what we'll need to do is, we want to come up with like a list of questions, and I'm thinking we should touch base with like Maureen and Cynthia
Mhm.
to see if they would give us a list of, let's say, 12 questions that would be good to ask from perspective. All right, Trish?
I just wanted to add, as part of this process, if we're going to make an acting commissioner for a length of time, depending on how that works, we may have to get approval for that too. If that is, we've done that in the past, and we've done it in very short order, so I don't think that that's an issue, but I just want to let you know, each of these steps are defined in regulations, so we have to be careful to follow them. They're different than other positions where you can choose.
That means that whether we're going to give a 4-year contract or a 6-year?
No,
This
no,
is
no.
statute.
This is,
Just by, right.
this is just if on January 24th, Cynthia is just acting, if you're going to formally appoint her acting for some length of time,
Oh,
we
acting.
may have to go through a process.
Well,
This
we might be good
appointment-
by then.
Right.
And is this position as commissioner a term thing, like a 6-year term?
It's a 5-year term.
5-year.
It's a 5-year.
I believe it's 5 years term.
So that's probably something that should be in the...
Well, that's state law.
Okay.
Well, you can put it,
Law.
yeah, it's law.
Yeah, the length of the term for commissioner, it used to be 5 years. I'll have to confirm what it is, but,
Okay.
so we will.
It's in a,
Okay, any other questions? So then we're going to move forward. Trish, you'll just kind of keep us informed of what we need to do, or if there's something that we haven't done, you'll let us know to make sure we do.
Is there anything that has to, that you want for personnel, or?
I think we need, no, I don't think so. I think
Okay.
we're in good
we all
shape.
know we have a vacancy, we gotta fill.
Right, exactly. So, well, thank you all for kind of short notice, but I thought we needed to do this so we could move forward with that.
Absolutely. Thank
Okay,
you.
so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Mr. McDonald, Mr. Montessi. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you.